I'm Jiaoying Summers. Welcome to Tiger MILF Podcast. Actually, I just really wanted to. I just feel like you were able to lead a life, with your dream fulfilled, and also like you also have such a balanced life as an entertainer. You found love, and I just felt like what is just think is inspiring for you to share with young artists, like when you decided that you want to become an entertainer as a magician, when you were a little boy.
I'm from Vancouver, Canada originally, so I'm Canadian. I've been in the States now about 35 years, and I watched TV like everyone else did, and I just thought it was the coolest thing that you could act or do comedy or do magic, and people would pay you enough to live your life. I thought, because, I grew up in a household that they all worked for the railway. They were, blue collar workers. They worked hard for their money, 9 to 5, and they had a pension plan and all this other stuff. So I thought, no way, somebody gets paid to sing and that's it? Or they get paid to just act or do comedy. I thought, that's amazing. So I thought, I wonder if I can do that. So as a young child, as a kid, I started dancing professionally because it's just something I could do. I played music. I did anything like that because I just enjoyed, I think, the attention, like we all do.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I got into magic, I realized, wait a minute, I don't need a movie to be in. I don't need a comedy club to try to be funny, or I don't need a theater to dance in. I could do tricks for like birthday parties or small little things and get paid.
You're the show.
Yeah, I can control the whole thing and make money right away.
Yeah.
So when I was like 12 or 13, I'd do kids' birthday parties for $50 for like half an hour.
Wow.
At 12 years old. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money now for half an hour, but for most people, but as a kid, I thought this is wonderful. So that's kind of how it all started. So I just thought, well, I'm good enough to make $50 for half an hour, and I just thought, well, if I can keep fooling people. So now I've fooled people for almost 50 years. I just turned 50 a week ago. Can you believe that?
You don't look 50.
Oh, 49, huh?
You look, I think you look like a 35, 36.
I appreciate that. I'm going to pay you later for that. I'll pay you later.
Yes.
The dark glasses and the hair. The older I get, I'm like Goldie Hawn. I just keep pushing it forward, so it's just a nose now. So I just keep looking younger and younger.
Yeah, that's Goldie Hawn trick.
Yeah,
that's great. That's great. I think it's very interesting when you were such a young boy. Would you mind for me to ask you, like when you were 13, like you were making $50 for half an hour? What would be like for example, your dad, like how much money he makes a month?
Oh, at that time, he worked for the railway in the 1980s, so he probably made about only $35,000 a year Canadian. So that, and he was in his 50s back then, 50s, yeah. So, it's a big difference,
So that's why he wasn't so mad at you for pursuing being an entertainer, because most parents, they hate when kids want to be an entertainer. They want you to become a doctor, lawyer. But when he can see you actually are putting in the hard cash, he's thinking, oh,
yes.
wow.
Yeah. Well, I remember, because
you didn't have to fight so hard to pursue your dream.
I didn't have to, but he also was the type to say, hey, when you get older, you should get a pension plan, have, so you can relax and have money come in. And I said, I know. And then I got a cruise ship contract to do a show on a cruise ship when I was 19, 20 years old. And don't forget, I was in Canada. So the Canadian dollar is weaker than the American, right? So basically 76 cents American is $1 Canadian. So that's the difference around that. So I got my first contract at 20 years old for $1,100 a week, American, on a cruise ship. For 2 months, it was a 2-month contract. So I was making about $4,400 a month, which was about close to about $5,500, $6,000 Canadian a month. I never thought I'd make that much money in my lifetime, let alone doing magic at 20 years old. And so when I showed him the contract, he's like, "Oh my God, that's more money than I make all my life." And I've worked all my life to be where I'm at. And he was quite a high position at the railway. And that was after that contract. He was like, "You know what? Go do your thing."
Yeah, that's beautiful. And also, he probably understand later on, it's like, you don't want to retire because you have fun, like you're doing what you love, so you don't really work.
Yes.
You're just playing.
That's right.
And you're just playing, making people happy and laugh.
Yes.
So therefore, you still want to do it. You always want to do it.
Yeah, of course. And also, as you can never rest on your laurels. You can never rest on something. Say you did your movie or whatever the case is. You can't just sit on that and go, I did that, because after a while, you got to keep changing and being different and reinventing yourself.
Because for you, when you are a successful magician, people know that you can do so much. They expect more from you. Right. They keep expecting more. So whenever you have a big achievement, you actually you get kicked back to ground zero. Like you have to start over.
Of course,
because you don't compete with the people you used to be with. You are now in the next level, and people just expect you can give more.
Of course.
And if you don't, if you do the same thing, they hate you.
Of course, or it's just not interesting, you know? And that always, that's the way it works with anybody. How many singers or how many entertainers you've seen in your life, from Frank Sinatra, even Michael Jackson when he was alive. He was so big, and then he never worked for years, and then he worked again, and then, sometimes they live or die. But everyone has their, even if you're young and you make it so big. I mean, look at Andrew Dice Clay, famous comedian. He was the first comedian to ever sell out Madison Square Garden. Phenomenal. This is back in the 80s.
He made a comedy
huge,
like that.
Yeah, and he also made a lot of things back in the day he can get away with. Now, I think you say anything that he says now, you're probably going to be canceled. But that's our world now. But with him, he was the first one to sell at Madison Square Garden, which is unbelievable. But now he plays here in town. He plays the Laugh Factory because you can never stay at that level forever. I mean, you can try, and maybe you can, but very, very few people.
I think very few people. Very few people.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not even, Even look at Cher. Cher, legendary. But can Cher sell out a 70,000-seat arena like Taylor Swift right now? I don't think she could.
The Gen Z don't know who she is.
No. So I think she could sell at 5,000 seats easy.
Yes.
She's Cher. But I don't know 70,000. That's a big number. Beyonce and Taylor Swift. But now when Taylor Swift's 60, is she going to sell at 70,000 seats? Who knows? Pretty hard to believe.
Probably not.